You talking to me? Well, I'm the only one here.
I thought I told you never to interrupt me while I'm working.
Welcome to the Player Supreme Show. I'm your host, Player Supreme. Yes, welcome to the show today, fellas, and this is show 187 from my past shows episodes of which I provide at zenmac.com. This is a very old show, so enjoy. Welcome to the show today. Earlier I was watching a old, I think it's late 80s or maybe early 90s movie called Crossworlds with Rutger Hauer, and actually a young Jack Black is in there. And it was during the time period when Hollywood was picking all those dweebs. All those dweebs were coming out of drama class, so there was no real men to pick from. A lot of, the dweebage was really high. And in the movie, Jack Black is in college there. You see a much leaner version of him, but still the same big head. And there's a short brother in there, and there's this taller Caucasian guy with a big nose. They talked the Caucasian guy into going to one of those frat parties. They're standing in the doorway, and this beautiful blonde chick who's dancing is making eye contact with the tall guy. They eventually convince the tall guy into approaching her. He walks over to her and says, while she's dancing, "Can I ask you a question?" Back then, in the late 80s and early 90s, they had question openers. He asks her, if there are only two men left in the world, would you choose that guy over there? And he was referring to Jack Black. And she interrupts him and says, I'll choose him. He goes, but I didn't finish. I didn't get a chance to say. Or me, a nice guy who's sweet and kind and nice. And she goes, no. I choose him because at least he has the balls to come up and approach me directly without using some kind of corny stuff like that. And then she went back to dancing. So I didn't realize that those canned openers were even around back in the late 80s and early 90s. And even back then, women prefer someone to walk over directly. Because women, they know what you're up to. You're not fooling anybody with those, fake openers. They know you want to meet them. Because by the time you've walked over, you already made eye contact with her in some form or another. She knows you're aware of her. Many of the guys who do the canned openers, they don't make direct eye contact. They spot the girl, and then they kind of weasel up to her. And many women don't like that weaseling, like a little weasel trying to weasel your way in there type of routine stuff. I was amazed that they even had openers back then. It's just ridiculous. As I've said, even back then, women prefer men who have the balls. She said men who have the balls to approach her directly, and men who have the balls to walk over and approach directly. Well, today I want to talk about a couple things. First of all, it was asked of me, what do you say over coffee dates? Now, coffee dates are the prime time to get her life story. This is the best time that you can get all of her juicy secrets out of her. When you're in the club, the music's usually so loud, you don't have time to get into her life story. All you have time to do is get the digits or do the takeaway, take her out of the environment. Let's go to my place for something to eat, or let's go to my place. I've asked women, hey, you want to hook up directly? As you guys have probably read from my reports, one time I was out in front of a gay club. I usually stopped in there after I came from the straight clubs because they had a hot dog vendor of all things outside the gay club in Sacramento, a place called Faces, where all the fags go. I would stop in there, get a hot dog and a Coke, and I would usually call the girl whose number I pulled. Well, that night I didn't pull any numbers. I didn't try to. I don't remember what was going on, but I stopped in, and there was this girl who's about 6'3", who walked up behind me in those low-riser jeans. And I started talking to her for a few minutes. I said, you want to hook up? And she said, yes. So I went back to her gay friend who had met this black guy. I went back to his house, the white guy's house, and I fucked her on the floor. And I think I posted, I may have wrote about this, but what turned me off was, I'm out there on the living room floor boning her, and the black guy comes out the bedroom. Ooh, my ass hurts! Trying to sound like one of them comedian like Chris Rock or something like that, and he went down, digging his ass from his underwear, to the bathroom. And it was just gross. You know, I don't want to rag on gay sex. You know, that's another issue right there. But it kind of fucked up my mood. But all I did was ask her, let's hook up. So, getting back to the subject, coffee dates are the prime time to get her life story. You want to learn everything that you can about her. You want to start from the moment she was practically born. You know, where did she come from? You know, what was childhood like for her? All these questions that you would want to take a real interest in. And then you need to be sensitive enough to pull out the dirt, as I call it. That's when you want to, if she is a little bit hesitant about her childhood, you want to be like a detective and dig out what happened. I pull out all the clues I need to put her on my team. I pull out the freaky stuff. With the one girl that I had met at a nightclub I posted about, I went over to her house and, you know, stuck in her butt twice. You know, after just meeting her that night. You know, I pulled out that she had been sexually abused. And I went over and I role played the whole thing. And it got her off, so fuck it. You have to be real sensitive, brothers. You gotta, as I said, outwardly focus. You can't be thinking inside your head. You have to really take an interest in her and be outwardly focused and sensitive. You have to be able to learn how to watch people. That's why I gave you an exercise on watching a video with no sound. So you can pull the facial cues that will guide you. You have to be like a detective that will guide you down the path in her mind to her memories. Now, during that conversation is when you want to throw in the color, the animal, and water game, because it's fun. Also, it allows you to segue into more of her sexual side as you're digging out her life story. Just, you know, pop out a piece of paper and say, hey, let's play a quick game real quick, and then ask her what her favorite color is. Okay, that was just a brief copy of show 187 from my past shows episodes. Now, also be aware that I do have my 7 steps to becoming a player available at 7steps.zenmac.com, and I'm going to teach you how to get into becoming a player. So I take you all the way from the ground floor into developing your ability to give women orgasms, how to get up in their head. I give all of my techniques and secrets that I've learned as a player in this game for over 20 years. So make sure you get that program before it goes up to $99.95. Right now it's only $49.95, half off, and at the end of the month of May I am going to raise up to the normal price. So make sure you get that program before I do that.